This is a story of Damo. He had traveled from afar and found his way to Yunnan province, China. At the Yunnan monastery, he was greeted with open arms and friendly smiles. The first thing Damo realized was how out of shape and sluggish the monks had become, from constantly sitting, copying, and creating more books and scrolls and meditation. Damo, on the other hand, was an energetic person, exercised frequently, and was in shape. The monks loved having him around because he just never sat down. He was always sweeping, cleaning, wiping. One night, while Damo was sleeping in the temple, he was awakened by a loud noise. Damo got up, headed towards where the noise was coming from, which was the main hall. There he saw two robbers, had their arms full of candles, preservatives. The monks didn't have any money, but what they did have, Damo did not like the idea of somebody stealing. He wasn't sure what to do, so he thought about it for a minute. Then he had an idea. Damo stepped into the main hall and started growling and snarling like a tiger, thinking that everybody's afraid of tigers. The two robbers turned and run, dropped about half of what they had and held on to what they could, but they were gone, and Kung Fu was born. Damo had most certainly become the monastery hero, and the monks decided to have a feast in his honor. A time of day was selected for all the monks they would exercise. Monks would ask Damo, what would you have done if they tried to grab you? And Damo would look at him, well, I don't know, let's practice. And it didn't take long, and they became known as the Shaolin fighting monks. Now, back to Damo's celebratory feast. The monk that had cooked was named Monk Pickle. He had gotten his name because he pickled everything from carrots, cucumbers, eggs, you name it. He had a recipe for all of it. As they sat at the table waiting on this feast, the wagering monk was trying to get Damo to bet on what they were going to have for the meal. Damo took the easy bet. Monk Pickle will probably serve us pickles. And Damo was wrong. It was cucumber soup with a marvelously mixed salad. The feast was a success, and Damo had learned a valuable lesson. A fool and his money are soon parted. After a few years, the monks had all gotten into shape, and they had discovered many ways to defend themselves. They have grown quite a reputation. But Damo still wasn't satisfied. There was something deep down that he was searching for. I suspect he was looking for Zen, and he decided to go back out into the world and vowed that he would one day return. So Damo set out on this journey to find enlightenment. After about a month of traveling around the mountainside, Damo was hungry and he was fatigued. The sky became dark and it began to rain. Damo couldn't see, hands out in front of him, walking around trying to make his way. Finally came to a brick wall. Continued walking. With one hand he kept along the wall until he came to an opening, a place out of the rain. The gods have blessed me. I needed a place out of the rain, and here it is. Damo felt around a little bit and realized that he had found a cave. He kept stepping on what he thought was limbs and branches and stuff that had blown in into the entrance. He made his way into this cave. It was dark. So he curled up into a section of this cave, getting ready for the rest of the night out of the rain. And he felt what seemed like hay, maybe perhaps blown in from the outside. He took all this hay and made up a nice little bed. He even had enough for a nice little pillow. And he curled up thinking, the gods have blessed me. They've given me everything I possibly needed. And he went to sleep. Damo awoke in the middle of the night with a powerful thirst. He could hear the sound of water dripping, so he eased that way easily, slowly, reached his hand out and felt the water hitting his hand. He put it to his mouth and tasted it. It tasted wonderful. So he reached back over to get some more when he bumped what he thought was a goblet full of water, and he lifted this goblet to his lips and drank it down, thinking, the gods have blessed me again. They have given me what I have been looking for. And he curled back up and went to sleep. The next morning, when the sun came up, Damo could see inside this cave that he had found. At the entrance of this cave, he could see best and saw that the sticks and twigs and all that he had stepped on coming in to this cave were bones. What he had thought was hay that he had made a bed out of was dead people's hair. He looked down, and what he had thought was a goblet full of water turned out to be a cracked open skull. That was when Damo realized that he had found a burial cave. Damo meditated on the situation and then realized he had been enlightened. So he made his way back to the Yunnan monastery to teach his brethren what he had learned. Enemies of the mind. For everything was a blessing until his mind had told him it was not.